Hi everybody, so as you know we do like to interview our successful members, and we have a very successful member here today from the Stocks Club, and this is Sandra Bravo.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming to our studios.
I'm very excited to be here. It's so nice to see all the behind the scenes.
Now where are you from? Because you've got a mix, where is you? I'm trying to place you, where are you from?
I'm originally from Mexico, but I've lived in Australia for half my life.
Okay, so you got a bit of a mix. That is awesome. Okay, so what was your level? Well, tell us a little bit about what you do maybe first. What do you do?
Yes, well, I'm a speaker, trainer and coach. I do women's retreats based on personal development, mindset, confidence, self-esteem.
Nice.
Yes.
Amazing. We have great members, by the way. We have amazing members, as you can see. Okay, so let's talk about investing, because that's why we're here. So tell me, what was your level of knowledge when it came to trading and or investing in stocks?
It was non-existent. The only one time that I thought I would learn to trade, which was many years ago, I told myself that, no, I'm a people person. I can't sit here in the computer and do this. So I kind of brushed it away.
Yeah.
Never looked into it again until you started encouraging me to do it.
Do you know, that's really interesting. So I was at dinner yesterday and the woman next to me said almost the same thing. Like, she's a creative and she said, I'm a people person and I can't deal with numbers. And I'm like, but numbers, it's not really about numbers.
No.
Do you think it's about numbers?
No, and actually I do love numbers, but no, I think it's more about being disciplined and following the strategy and patience.
Yeah, a lot of patience,
has been a big lesson for me because I'm a very impatient person.
Oh, so you learned patience.
Yes.
That's good, that's very good. Okay, that's a side learning. Wasn't expecting that one. Okay, so you would say, all right, so that's interesting. So you had absolutely no experience before? None. And in fact, you were probably like, not sure whether this is actually for me because I'm a people's person.
Absolutely. I just thought I would go crazy sitting there on the computer and looking at charts and doing things.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, so what did you do? So you're a member of your trading club?
Yes.
Stocks and shares?
Yes.
What's the difference between stocks and shares? Do you know?
Stocks and shares. Oh, that's a good question.
See,
okay,
we don't even need to know these things and still make money. Well, we don't know whether she's made money. We're about to find out, right?
We'll see. But I think stocks is like a particular company.
It's the same thing. Stocks is American, shares is English.
Okay.
You don't need to know that. You're Mexico, Australia, whatever you are. Okay. All right. So your level of knowledge, and you're part of the Stocks Club. So for you, what was the journey that you went through? What did you do? Have you been to any of the workshops, or was it just the online course, or what did you do?
No, so what happened is when the pandemic started and all of a sudden I couldn't travel for events, I had the extra time.
Okay.
And that's when you kindly started encouraging me you should look at this, you should look at this. And I was like, oh God. To be honest, at the beginning it was more a bit of I don't, because I say it to my students all the time, I don't want to be one of those that don't follow through.
Right.
And
so you're like, oh shit, now I need to do it.
Yeah, and you and your team are so good at holding us accountable and just staying on our backs to make sure that we follow through, which I'm very grateful for, because it was more of I don't want to talk to Dennis and tell him I haven't watched the next load of videos.
Excellent. So you really felt some accountability there.
Yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
to tick the box.
So what did you do first? What did you do? Did you do the videos, right?
Yes. So I started going through all the videos, and to be honest, I watched them like 3 times.
Did you?
Because it's a new language for me.
What do you mean? It's English? No. So you went through the whole thing?
I went through the whole thing at least 3 times.
Normal speed?
Normal speed. Okay. I would put it in my cinema room at home. I would put the laptop so I could have it on the biggest screen.
I love that.
So then I could pause and take notes. So first time around, I just watched through everything. And it was daunting. It was a little overwhelming because it's, again, a new language for me. It's like, what? And many of the terms I had to Google and things like that.
Okay.
Ask questions, like I ask a lot of questions, and I think that's the quickest way to learn.
Yeah.
And then so second time around, that's when I went into the biggest screen in my media room, so I could pause and take notes, and I would plan my little list of questions for the next time I was going to talk to Dennis or jump on one of the calls.
Nice.
just so I could maximize my time. And then it's funny because when I look back at my notes, it's like, oh, of course, it all makes sense, but it needed repetition.
Right?
Right.
Isn't that true? It's like after a few months, well, actually, I was going to ask you the question, how long did it take until you kind of think, oh, is that all I need to do?
Yes.
Right? It is actually quite simple, right?
Yes.
It's not easy. It's like riding a bike. You do have to learn.
Repetition.
But yeah, repetition.
And just like anything in life, I think if you want to get good at anything, it's just doing it over and over and over again.
Do you know, I can tell that you're used to doing, because you keep looking at the camera, so you're like, yeah, you know, like this. It's fine, do what you want, it doesn't matter.
I was actually looking at the wall. Maybe I should.
How many of you? Okay, so you did that. So it's the online course 3 times. Love that, by the way, because I think you should definitely do the whole thing once and then start studying. So I absolutely love that. Wow, wow, wow. Did you come on any of the workshops?
Not in person, no. That's why I messaged you. I'm like, oh, it would be so nice if you had one in the UK now that I'm going to be there.
Yeah, because of the time difference, right?
The time, yeah.
But you know, I'm not telling you off or anything, but we do have several people that even are on it, and even crew. So they've done it several times, but they're in Australia.
Okay.
And it is like 3 in the morning. Okay, fine, but they just do it. They suck it up.
Because even the bi-weekly calls tend to be at 2 in the morning
true,
and that.
True, yeah.
I have to tell you quickly as well. So I'm watching the videos to really nail the strategy, but I actually watch a lot of your videos where you just talk about the whole system before the strategy, because I find that really helpful with the mindset. You know, just when it gets overwhelming and you just go, oh my God, like no. Then I go back to your initial videos, the ones that got me excited of wanting to do this. Yeah. And then I walk off those videos again, excited again. And then I go from the overwhelm of, oh my God, to, oh, I can't wait to see
Hold on, so that's really clever. So you get yourself inspired. Yes. And then you do the studying of the things that you're not so inspired about.
I have to feel good, because otherwise it's overwhelming.
Talk about mindset. That is awesome.
So that's your videos. Like I watch those to get me excited again when I just...
Which videos are those? The weekly ones, the weekly ones as well?
You know, you have that free initial course
in
the...
the webinars.
So you do like a webinar and then you go through this course, and it's maybe 7, 12 videos, and that's the free one before you become a member of the club. And so that one I love, because every time I watch any of those videos, I walk away like, like bouncing with energy.
I love that. I love the fact that you know yourself. I think the secret of success, really, as the Oracle says, is know thyself, because you're kind of short-circuiting the system, or you're setting yourself up to win because you know yourself. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of what we all teach, I guess, all the time. Like 80% of the equation of success is mindset, 20% is the strategy, but often we think the strategy is so complicated, but it's because we're lacking the mindset. So I watch your videos over and over again, or if it's one of those days that there's a lot of red in my account, and I just go like,
reds in your account. Oh, we're about to hear about the results. What reds?
So that's when I go back to watch your videos again, then I get excited again. Instead of trying to feel like I don't want to look at my account.
Because I think a lot of people would then give up, right? So it really, when we say that mindset is 80%, people go, yeah, but just show me the strategy quickly. It's like, don't say yeah, it is 80%.
Exactly, and it will reflect on your results. So and even just to get the initial VCA, like it's taken me watching, and then when I think I know it, there's a point where I go, oh, what would I do here again? And I go watch it.
Is that right? But it is simple, right?
It is simple. It's just repetition and sticking to it, which is the hardest thing. Be disciplined and patient.
So what was the best thing for you about the club? Like where do you find that you either enjoyed the most, or you got the most out of it, or helped you the most, or whatever? Which bits?
Well, the compounding sheet is very exciting, because it makes you feel like, imagine if I started this when I was my girl's age, and now
how old are your girls?
My daughters are 12 and 15.
Are they starting to learn it, or have
the 15-year-old is like, she'll often sit there, and she's a very good money manager. So she's really good at saving half of what she earns. She's got her little part-time job on the side of the school.
Wonderful.
And she's really good at saving half of it and knowing that, we're investing.
What should she do with the other half?
So
invest all of it. No, that's bad money.
Well, if you have any teenage daughters, you know where the other half goes. Hair, nails, beauty.
Got it. Got it.
I'm saving for her car, because next year she can get a her learners. In Australia, we have learners for.
So how awesome is that? So you're kind of doing it a little bit together as well, which I guess motivates you even more because you're kind of doing it for somebody else, which is a little bit of a trick as well, doing it for somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so the compounding sheet, anything else that you enjoy?
Compounding sheet and the sheets where you can, on the VCA strategy, you can enter
The calculator.
the calculator, you can enter
So
your
important.
amounts and that, like, because it makes it so easy. Because, you know, when you start with one or two stocks, but once you start to have 10 or 15 that you're looking at, it's easy to lose track or to get excited or depressed if it's going north or south. And
So you have all these worksheets with all the
easy
different,
to just
amazing.
go, okay, well, it hasn't hit like 20%. I'm not going to pull it out. I wanted to get to 35%.
Although you want to.
Exactly. So just to keep me on track of what I'm doing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get to the results. We're going to get to the results, which is really exciting. I feel like after the break, we should, you know. No, but okay, so how much time do you honestly spend a day on this?
Look, the days that I'm learning,
I'm looking.
I like to put 2 hours.
When you're learning.
Because I like to rewatch the videos.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm going through the transition of graduating from VCA strategy to feeling comfortable with Buffalo, because I've opened my CFD account, because in Australia we have to use a different company. I haven't yet invested using Buffalo, and I'm at that stage where I just wanted to feel good in my stomach, you know, like I want to feel confident enough. So the days that I put in my calendar study, so I can rewatch the videos until I get that I understand the Buffalo strategy, I like to do 2 hours.
Okay.
But the days where it's just maintenance, I guess, it'll be like 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
I'm looking at
Brilliant.
what things are.
I'm so glad you said that. Okay, because we do actually say to people, it's really 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you're going to have to learn it, right? So you can't do 15 minutes of learning to ride a bike or, you know, to become a doctor, 15 minutes a day. You do have to. So we always say an hour a day, but you're doing 2. Amazing. Okay, good. So
it's addictive. Once you start watching the videos, it's like, oh, just one more.
do you, by the way, the reason that we put this kind of I can't watch a video at normal speed. Do you times it by 1.5 or times 2 the speed? Do you change it at all?
Yeah, if the video is looking at charts and specific things, I'll put it back to 1.
Yes.
Because I need to get it.
Yeah.
But if it's anything that I don't have to be clicking through, I'll put it at 1.25.
Oh, just 1.25.
Yeah.
I was listening to a video just now at 3. But you really have to concentrate like this. But that's too fast. But
see, your videos for mindset, it's okay if you do it. It's okay if you do it asleep, because it's for the subconscious. It's working on the mindset.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, all the time. I listen to stuff all the time while I'm in the plane or falling asleep or whatever.
Hold on. So have you ever listened to me while you were sleeping?
Yes, on faster speed, because. No, I'll tell you why. Because often the conscious mind will jump in and go, BS, that's not true. You can't do this, blah, blah, blah.
Get rid of
so
the
I'm trying
conscious
to
mind.
bypass it. So if it's on 3, I can't even concentrate. I can't pay attention. So I'll do it while I'm making breakfast for my kids or driving or at the gym, because I'm not paying attention, and I don't want to pay attention because I don't want my conscious mind to start telling me all the reasons why I'm not going to be able to do it or I'm not going to be successful.
Nice.
It's for my subconscious.
Yeah. You're a master at this. This is awesome. I love you're
I
using
think
all
I'm learning from the best. You guys are such
well,
good teachers.
Thank
honestly.
you. Okay, so before we get to the results, what kind of challenge, or should we get to the results? Maybe we should do the results and then the challenges. I want to know what challenges you had. I'm sure it wasn't just easy sailing, but let's get to the results and then we'll get to the challenges, okay?
Yeah.
So what have the results been? Because you said to me that you had 3 pots.
Yeah.
So talk to me about those 3 pots.
Yes. So at the time where I started learning all of this, I started attending a lot of meetings with financial planners, which I don't know here, but in Australia, you go and have like an initial complimentary 90-minute consultation. Then you go, and so again, the first few meetings I would have, they speak in Chinese to me. I can't even ask smart questions because I don't know what they're talking about. So I have to go home and then Google all these things. Then the next meeting is like, okay, I can look a little bit smart today and ask these questions. But the worst thing is every time I walk out of a meeting, I would be more confused because they all give you a different advice based on, I guess, what they want to put you on or what they do. I mean, there's so many things
Depending
you
which
do.
way they're trying to push you.
So the more meetings, the more confused, but also the more I would learn, because more new things that I go, okay, thanks. I don't know what that means. Then go Google it and learn it. And so I spent probably like a year of attending meetings with different financial planners.
Really?
And then
You
eventually...
just never give up. You're just one of those do whatever it takes, perseverance, committed, never give up type of people.
Do you know, it's like the more that you think you learn, the less you feel you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I know nothing. I need to go and learn more.
Okay.
So eventually I finally picked 2 financial planners. I was going to do 3. Thank God I only did 2. And one of them was a little bit more focused on producing income at the same time as growth.
Okay.
The other one was mainly focused on long-term growth.
Okay. Okay. So one was long-term growth and the other one was growth and income.
Yeah.
Growth and income. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which obviously means less percentage of growth if you're going to focus on income. And that's purely, they live around the corner from my house and in this...
That's a criteria?
No.
Close.
No, I'll tell you why, because it's a golf community and very wealthy people live there.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have either already sold their businesses or they're very wealthy or whatever. So they go for the income because they're retiring.
Got it.
I'm not in a retirement age, so...
No. Nowhere near.
No, well... But, so that's why they focus more on that.
Okay.
So I kind of liked it because it was just a little bit different and they put me on different things and it included a lot of real estate in Australia, things like that.
Oh, okay.
I think the other one was more long-term growth, which is where I wanted because I knew that having money sitting around just reduces over time, right? Because of inflation and everything else. So anyway, I just thought, well, let's try these. So are we talking amounts here or just...
Are we talking what?
Amounts here? Or
amounts, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I gave 500,000 to each of them. And then I thought I'm going to do...
So you do 500,000 to one. This is what? Australian dollars?
Yeah, Australian dollars.
Not rubles. Okay, so 500,000 there.
To one financial
500,000 to the other one.
Yeah.
And he went, good luck, good luck, good luck. and then the third pot was?
And then I thought I'll do 500,000 myself.
Take control.
And see where we're going a year.
A bit of a competition as well, no? Did you look at it in that way? A bit of a competition or not? Or you just said...
Well, I mean, of course, I kind of wanted to, not that I wanted to prove myself that I wanted to do it, but it's at the same, because part of my criteria with them was like, I also want to know what you're doing with my money so I can learn. It's part of, you know.
Yeah.
So often, again, I would set up meetings and it's funny.
What are you doing with my money?
One of them actually
Teach
started
me.
asking me to help them run their webinars because that's something they didn't do before. And also started asking me if I could go with her to her meetings with the lawyers and real estate agents and stuff to help her get more business that way through speaking because speaking is not something they do and it's something that I love doing.
Okay, yeah.
So I was really grateful because I got to see a lot of the behind the scenes and they would show me through what they do with their portfolios and that. So
nice.
I actually got to learn a lot.
I mean, this is awesome. If you think about the mindset, right, behind this is actually very, very clever. Okay, so 3 pots, 500,000 to IFA number 1. We call them independent financial advisors. Okay, so IFA number 1, IFA number 2, and Sandra. Okay, and so you used our strategies, and so what are the results? Start with the IFAs.
Yes, so when I got my end of financial year statements, I opened one of them. I mean, I do check them monthly, but then when I actually go through it, it's like, oh my God, one of them was down $54,000.
Okay.
The other one was down like $6,000. And, you know, I think a couple of months later it came up and stuff, but then I was on, at one point I was on 112,000 profit, 84,000 profit. So then I started thinking...
That's a big difference, no?
It's a big difference.
That's a big difference because there's this and then there's the minus. So it's like a big difference.
Well, that's it. And
especially
if I was
the
to put them together, what's my net result, right? And so I started to feel like, hold on. And look, it was a very sensitive topic because I've become really good friends with
are you happy about this?
Her,
are you happy about the result?
I'm very happy about the result.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I'm so grateful to you and the whole team.
Well, okay, fine. But you're happy. I wasn't. Okay.
Very happy. All I'm saying, it was a very sensitive topic to approach with the financial planners.
Why?
Because one of them I've become really good friends with. We actually do.
Right, learning. Don't become friends with your financial advisor.
No, that's it. And we do our ladies beach walking once a week in the morning and all of that.
So
but
real good
I
fun.
just, this is business and this is friendship, and I just wrote. I mean, she's the owner of the business, but she's not in charge of my portfolio anyway.
Right.
So
Well,
I
maybe
wrote
she should
to
be.
my advisor, and I said, so I just think that the fees that we pay, shouldn't they be like results?
She's so smart.
She's
so smart.
like based on the
Because
results.
they'll take their fees no matter what, right?
No matter what.
Whether they make you money, whether they're breaking even, or whether they lose you money, they still take their fees. They don't go, oh, we haven't done very well.
They do.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned from going through all of these financial planners is at the end of the day, you're in a bucket. It's a template of these, out of these 20, maybe we choose 10, but that's where we put everyone. And personalized means, oh, you're into cryptos, but financial planners can't do cryptos. But there is a stock called Crypt, which is based on the, most of the miners are in South America because electricity is cheaper than that. So there's a stock called Crypt, which invests into those things, not into the cryptocurrency itself, but the resources of cryptocurrency. So if you're into cryptos, we're going to put 5% of your portfolio in that. Okay. If you're into gaming or artificial intelligence, we'll put 5%, and that is your personalized portfolio.
Okay.
But for the most part, 90% of it is still in the bucket where everyone else is into.
But what is their strategy, though? I don't understand their strategy.
Well,
because they'll never. Oh, well, because most people would never know the strategy of the IFA.
No.
They don't tell you, but you know. Like, let's say something goes up 100%. Do they actually sell, or do they just go, oh yeah, that's nice, and then it comes down again? What do they do?
No, and this is a path that you guys really opened my eyes to understand, and obviously attending their offices and doing the meetings and that, because I got to learn what they do.
Yeah.
And so I said, here's $500,000. So they choose the 10 or 12 things. They're not even all stocks. Some of them are managed funds, which have huge fees and blah, blah. And so here are the things we're going to invest it into. And then they literally set it up and put it in automatic on a platform called Hub24.
Okay.
And so what happens is they go, we're going to lay you in over the next 6 months. So what happens is, let's say the 1st of February, they put 100,000 spread out into those 10 funds or stocks or whatever. So it's all in automatic. On the 1st of March, another 100,000, they're going to buy in.
But that's not a strategy.
This is where I had a shock to the system when I realized, because I'm like, what? After I learned the VCA, of course, I'm like, wait, but it's the 1st of March, it's more expensive. Why would you buy me in?
Why would you do
Skip it, and then the next month buy me twice.
Do you know
which
what?
is even
That's
before
actually
VCA.
smart, kind of. I don't think it's good business, but smart of them to automate it so they don't have to do anything.
But then why are you paying fees if they're not actively managing your money?
Exactly.
So, and actually this strategy is even before the VCA. This is just the one of, you don't buy this month, but if the next month is lower, buy twice, right? Then you teach. I don't even know what it's called because I was before VCA, so I graduated.
So they just, on the 1st of the...
Right.
So they're actually doing something called dollar cost averaging, which, teenagers should be... I mean, it's just... It's just basically what we call PCA, price cost averaging, which is no matter what the price, just buy on the 1st of the month. I mean, you don't need anybody for that.
Exactly.
What fees? You don't need, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so ongoing is the same. Whatever little money you made that month, they'll reinvest it again in automatic on the day, blah, blah, blah.
When do they get out there? When do they sell?
No, they don't, unless you ask them. This is a long-term thing, so unless you ask them or what. And that's the other thing, like, what if I was to need, whatever I invested is because I don't need it, I need it to grow, but what if anything happened and I was to need some money out? They're going to have to sell, and if I'm on a big loss, they're going to have to sell me out because I need it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I started asking questions like, what's your strategy? And I was completely transparent. I said to them, look, at the same time I invested with you, I invested the same amount with Financial Planner B, and I managed the same amount, and these are the results. So I like to know what's your strategy.
What did they say when you showed them the results?
They said, well, you're in the aggressive portfolio, and according to the graph, you're totally in line. So you just have to wait 7 to 10 years, because that's how things, I guess, just like we call it the superannuation, which is your retirement fund.
Okay.
Which is how they do it, you know. So you're in line with the thing, and
in line?
Please, you can
At
book a
minus
meeting, come and see us.
Okay,
This year the market has been down, but as long as you don't need your money for 7 years, it will recover.
The market has been down. I made a profit, you made a loss. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Okay.
But feel free to book an appointment and come and see us. And I said, no, thanks, I don't need an appointment, but can you just, whatever money's making every month, stop reinvesting? And because on a different portfolio, I put another 2 amounts for my 2 kids.
Okay.
I said,
what, with them?
Yeah, but on a different thing on a.
Mamma mia!
Yes.
What the hell?
And worst thing is with the kids, I was adding money monthly. So I said, no more adding to the kids.
Do you know what? If you did our strategies for the kids over the long term, in the way they're saying 10 years, you know what would happen?
They'll be taken care of, which I am.
Yeah.
So.
And then teaching them this as well, you know.
Yes.
Which you are already with your 15-year-old. Okay, so that's all very exciting. So tell us about any challenges that you had, because I'm sure it wasn't just like, yeah, see, you know.
No, yeah. So I first started with long-term investing with VCA, but then I realized some of those stocks were really good candidates for short-term trading. So when I started to really fall in love with this, because it wasn't an overnight love affair. I was, hating it some days. I don't want to do this. And it was only because, one, I had the time because I wasn't traveling anymore for 2 years, almost 3. And 2, because you guys were on my back. And I really appreciate it. So eventually the passion started to develop for it, where I would actually be excited to go and sit on my computer and check my things. So that's when I thought, if I'm doing well with the long-term investing, I think I should start doing the short-term trading to generate income. But then first of all was like, well, but how do I separate the accounts? Because 2 of my stocks that are really doing well long-term are really good candidates for the short-term, but I don't want to sell that because
that's true.
It's long-term and I don't need to go and pay tax on that at the moment. And what am I going to do with
You can have
anyway?
2, with some brokers you can have 2 simple things. You can actually be long in one and short with the other, which is very cool because then you're totally hedged, right? However, not all brokers do that. And so you either have to have a sub-account or open up with another broker.
Yes.
But it's a good idea, we're getting lots of learnings here, to be long in one, long term, but in a short term, because it goes down, and this dip down is where you'll make money here.
Yes. And I need to do that right now with Tesla, which I wanted to ask you because Elon Musk is playing games and he's like, I keep buying and buying, and then I'm like, no, I think I should go short now. But I do it through one of my banks, so I can't do any of that. So I had to open another account with IG Markets and CMC. First, so I can do Buffalo because that's CFDs, and 2, so I could short, and 3, because if I buy for short-term trading in the stocks that I'm going long-term, this I don't know if you've heard of Pilbara Minerals in Australia. It's like the best quality lithium that we have in Australia. We have the mines,
lithium.
and that's making me a lot of money.
I bet it is.
So I don't want to buy a short-term position on that because it's going to mess up my average price. Because right now it's doing really well, and I bought down here.
There's people watching this; they have no idea what you're talking about right now, but that's fine. Okay, so so the challenges that you had were what? Like, was it all simple?
No, so being able to separate first in my head, what I'm doing is long-term investing versus short-term trading.
Got it.
Having to open another account. And to be honest, as silly as it sounds, but it can be overwhelming, just learning to use a new broker. Because they're all different, yet similar but different. So that alone can be a little overwhelming. Like, I know how to do this.
How do you keep going though? Because some people, they just... Well, as soon as they hit a hurdle, a wall, they stop. They don't mean to stop, but they say, okay, I'll do this tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow, and then there's a film, and then 3 days later, it's like, and then they forget. And then that's it. That's the end of their trading journey, which is kind of strange and a shame. So what do you do just to keep going?
Yeah, well, first of all, I go back to your mindset videos, because those are the ones that get me through on the days where I start to avoid it. Because that's what we do. When we get stressed, we avoid the topic. So I've gone through the days where I won't touch my accounts for 5 days. But then it's harder to, that sign of consistency beats intensity? Like there's no point for me to sit there for 3 hours and then ignore it for 5 days. Because then it's really hard to get back into it.
So a little bit every day.
It's a little bit every day creates a habit.
Would be a good idea. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. To get into habit. Right. Because we don't say, I need to brush my teeth now. And you do. You just do it because it's a habit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you do it mornings, afternoons, evenings? When do you do it?
Mid-mornings for me.
Okay.
Because
Same time? Always same time?
Same time, yeah, 10 a.m.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Then it really becomes a habit, right? Otherwise, just I'll do it later sometime. No. 10 a.m.
It's in my calendar.
Yeah.
And I block 2 hours even though I don't use the 2 hours every day unless I'm learning. And also because for me, I want to do it when the US market is closed, just to handle my emotions. Because if I'm doing it when the US market is open, inevitably, I'm going to start to get all these emotions in my tummy.
That's why it's like, I agree with you. You don't have to do it when the market is open. Because things are moving and you're like, I should have why didn't I follow the rules?
Yes.
How do you feel? Is it simple or easy to follow the rules, even when you're emotional?
No, for me it's been very challenging to follow the rules because I'm a rebel and I'm very impatient.
Okay, but so this is good. So because a lot of people, they do this and they're not good at following rules, but you've managed to do it.
Yes.
But you know what's so good? The VCA is a contrarian strategy. You're going against the trend. So you must like that as a rebel, no?
I love VCA.
So that's interesting. That's so interesting. So you're a rebel, and therefore contrarian is actually good for you, but you still need to follow the rules.
Yeah.
In the end, it's about the results. And since you got these results, I guess you're building a belief which says, this works, I can do this.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, and even the other day I bought like $5,000 on a stock, and then all of a sudden it was almost 7,000, I think. Which, if I think of amounts, I go, oh, that's nothing, and why would I sell it? But I was looking at the percentages, and it was, I think, a 37% profit. So I'm like, no, you must take it out before it turns into a losing trade. Like,
well, or you just put your stop loss underneath it and let it go, right?
Which I can't do with my bank.
Okay,
that's why I had to open a new platform.
Yeah, but you can phone them up. Yeah, you're right, you do, because look, that one could go up 100%, right? But if you're out, you're out. That's it, which is a shame. So that's good. So you still got stuff to do.
But it felt good to take the profit, because then I wanted to think
in percentages. Of course it tastes good. Of course but what if it would have carried on?
Yes.
One of the golden rules is to let your profits run. What if that one was the big one, especially on lithium and things like that?
Which is why I just opened a new platform.
Yeah.
Can't
you phone your bank and say, listen, I want you to sell when it reaches that this price?
So I can put an order in automatic, and it stays for Australian stocks. But for US stocks, they only last for 24 hours. And then you get purged out of the system.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's just my banking.
So you have to do it every day.
And there's many. For example, I tried it on that you guys teach. Australians are not allowed to have an account with that. So I just had to find new platforms.
You've got to find one,
Which, again, talking about challenges.
I'm sure interactive brokers would do something like that, no?
Well, the new one I opened, they do all of that. But if I want to do Buffalo, because it's CFDs, I have to do it when the market is open. The US market is open, they told me.
Okay.
So that's... And I haven't started Buffalo yet.
Okay, fine. So what would you say to somebody who is thinking about it? Because people they go, should I not? What would you say to them?
I would just say one step at a time. Focus on if there's one strategy you can learn.
Well, first of all, should they do it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like even that little profit of 2,000, I think I just made money out of thin air.
Right, because you're not doing anything. No. Well, you are, 20 minutes a day, but the market is doing all the work, right?
Exactly.
That's the point.
And then I think, if you times that 10, 20, you know what I mean? Especially, for example, I love what I do, but I don't want to be traveling as much as I used to, because teenage girls at home, I want to be there. Plus, I got to enjoy the quality time of being home. So, for me, it's like, I can choose and pick how many events or how many times I travel, because I don't need to. I love it and I need it for my fulfillment. Yeah. But I can sit at home and get as much joy as
do you think also by having another pillar to hold up your financial freedom structure, that it just gives you that extra? So in other areas of your life, you have more confidence because hey, listen, dude, you don't know who you're dealing with here. I'm solid. Does that happen at all?
100%. And I think especially as a woman, to be able to be independent and take care of that. And I realized if I was still traveling as much as I did, I don't know that I would have ever had the time to make this a priority. Yeah. Which is the part where I'll always be forever grateful to you, because you were like, just do it. And I was like, well, I had the time. So I guess Netflix this, I'm going to do this. It feels good, right? Yeah. But also, as you said, just having that leverage and realizing that, yeah, I love what I did or do, and it gave me this amazing income, but it requires me there all the time, versus having this leverage of just pulling out my little laptop as I'm running into the plane or
I
whatever.
love both. I love the idea of having several pillars.
Exactly.
Because you never know what's going to happen to the pillars. Now, you know, you said that I was on your back, and apparently in your bedroom because you were listening to me while you were sleeping. But anyway, that's fine. But I'm going to be on your back again, which is about cryptos.
Yes.
Because you need to do cryptos.
I do. And you know, looking at the charts and the prices where they are, and you saying, you know, the next 6 to 12 months it's going to go, I just think I would be silly not to get in, because I would hate to look at these 6 or 12 months later and go, oh, if only I put this in. And I think now that I'm really comfortable with the VCA, and when I say comfortable, I don't know, is that feeling in my, I guess my stomach is where I hold my emotions, you know, that feeling of I can do this, and so it would be silly not to, because it would take me
That's
no
interesting.
time or
So it's not
effort.
I can do this, it's a I can do this.
For me, it's a
it's
feeling.
Here.
I'm a feeler.
Right, yeah.
And I know if I let my head get on the way, I'll find all the reasons why to be scared of doing it or not wanting to do it. Or so, but it's like, well, I can do this strategy. I've been doing it with the stocks. Like, it would just be, you know, an extra 10 minutes a day to jump onto cryptos and just do it as a long-term thing with VCA rather than the short-term trading. And
well, we have a different strategy. We have a CCA. It's a little bit different, but you will, you know, pick it up. Listen, these are so simple, but everything's simple once you know how to do it. Driving a car is really simple, but it's not, is it? Like when you know. So, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I would say if anyone is ever on the line of wondering what to do or not, is like, it's a no-brainer. I don't see why not. And you guys are so genuine and passionate about what you teach, and you make it so easy for people. You know, Dennis makes it so easy to understand things on his videos.
The whole team, Keith and Eamon and
all the teachers and
they're
the support, and they're holding your hand and being able to show up for questions and things like. There's just no way to fail. I think if we just follow the recipe and stick to the rules and keep working on the mindset, which would be the only thing to take us out. So it's exciting.
I love it. Sandra, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me and for everything you teach.
Oh, wonderful. So there you see it. So I hope you got some inspiration out of that, some learnings. I actually did, which is really nice. And inspiration about that you can do this. And in fact, you should do this, because it is one of the 5 pillars, and it's the one that's the most misunderstood. And 20 minutes a day. In addition, right? Don't stop anything else. It's not like you gave something up.
No.
It's in addition, so you have an extra pillar. Growing your wealth and or income. Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.